Like golfers or swingers in baseball, you could be the most productive guy or the most talented guy, I should say, but when you get in the batter's box or the tee box, you got to produce. And so that's the only thing we have left kind of in this equation is getting him out there in these games, putting him in some live situations and seeing it. But he's a pleasure to work with every day. I'm really, really happy we have him.
Sean mentioned he's a fan of the new kickoff rule, obviously, but specifically with the personnel that you guys have, it's like it puts you guys in a really good position just in terms of Marvin and the gunners, the specialists that you guys have. Where do you feel like you guys are positioned in terms of how to take advantage of it?
Yeah, well, I believe we have a great roster. We have a deep roster, and the deeper the roster, the more productive your special teams core players are going to be. We have some great position battles going on here in camp. They're going to be really fun to watch, kind of play out here in these preseason games, particularly on the defensive side. And so, listen, I was a big part of the new kickoff rule. I think there's a lot of nuances that the fans aren't really aware of yet until the regular season kind of gets going. But there's going to be a lot of exciting plays. You saw some of that in the Hall of Fame game, this past Thursday. I would tell the fans to keep an eye on it because what they're seeing in the preseason, you're going to see a lot of balls put in play. But as far as our roster goes and kind of how we're going to shape up, a lot of that'll happen here. A lot of that'll take place. These battles will kind of figure themselves out in these preseason games. But I'm excited because I feel like we have a really deep roster, throughout the 90 man. So
with Lutz's range and your familiarity with him, has it increased since you've been with him last?
Yeah, listen, I think Will is as you guys have seen here the last couple of years, is a model of consistency. That's what his career's been all about. I think he does a great job. As he's become a veteran player, his routine is exceptional. It's something we talk about all the time. So when he's on, as you saw yesterday, he's kind of in that routine. He still has a lot of pop in his leg. I think he does a great job on that over. There's a lot of young kickers that'll kind of overdo it and overtrain. We kind of keep him on a pitch count the days that he's up, and so the quality is much more important than the quantity at this point in his career. And as you guys have seen in these last 2 seasons and training camp, his quality's been really, really good. So he's got a really good rhythm going. Hopefully we can keep that going. There's always there's a question mark when you bring a new person into the operation, with Jeremy being the holder. So far, so good. That's been great. A couple things to work out, but hopefully we'll get some good work here in the preseason games.
Sean has said, there's roster is there's thin margins, like who's going to make this roster because everyone pretty much knows who's kind of be sent. He said it's going to come down to special teams.
Yeah.
Is that a pressure you like, that you might have the deciding factor of like what guy makes it, what guy may not, just because what they can do on special teams?
Well, I think it's awesome. I think one of the things about Sean is that you look at the 32 head coaches around the league. I don't know if there's a coach has more awareness of that phase of the game, of this phase of the game, than Sean. It's always been the case. You look back to his teams back at the Saints. It's always been an emphasis, so that's why I love working under him. It's always an emphasis for us. He's put that back on the players on the roster right now, like, hey, this is a way and an avenue to make this roster not only for the rookies but for the veterans as well. I don't think I've ever been a part of a camp. This is my 17th year in the league where there's going to be as many tough decisions as we're going to have. And listen, I welcome it. I love it. It's what I do for a living. So, I think the emphasis we've put on it, you guys have watched us out here in practice. We're evaluating everything. The players know that. It makes, competition brings out the best in everybody. And so that's why I really can't wait till the lights on here Saturday, and these 3 preseason games is really going to tell us a lot. It's one thing to do it here in practice, but to get out there and do it in these games, it's going to be fun to watch.
Sean said he feels like there's a few potential future head coaches on this staff. He mentioned that he thinks you'll get there one day. What are just your aspirations? I'm curious.
Yeah, well, certainly. Yeah, I've been a head coach before at the college level. Obviously, I was interim head coach last year with the Saints. It was a great experience. It's certainly a goal of mine, moving forward. It's one of the reasons I decided to come to this organization and work with Sean. I know what kind of organization is run here by Mr. Penner and George and Sean. It's a first-class place. It's a place where I felt like we can have a lot of success. And listen, we all know that those opportunities come from success. And there's no better place I'd rather be to get that opportunity. So we'll let those things play themselves out. I'm just going to do my part, as we call it, my 111th. I'm going to do my part, my 111th, and we'll let those things take care of itself. It's definitely a goal and aspiration, and I think I'm in the right place to do it.
Does playing at elevation change your strategy at all in the kicking or the punting game when you're at home? Does that factor into your decision making?
I'd be lying if I didn't tell you. It's a thing. It's a real thing. And when I used to come here as a visiting coach, and play in our stadium, and the ball takes off. And there's certain stadiums where it does. And yes, the answer is yes. Now, I think with the new kickoff rule, it's not going to play as big of a factor. But it might be if you're trying to locate the ball, because sometimes the ball takes off on you. You know, if you watched our going in punt period today, Jeremy tried to place a couple ball and the ball kind of takes off. So it is a factor for sure. I think when you're trying to flip the field in the punt game and things like that, you can, with a guy like Jeremy, hopefully we can do that. But no doubt, it extends your field goal lines, absolutely, when you're playing at elevation. You know, you go down, you know, I'm from New Jersey, you go to Giant Stadium and a 55-yard field goal there might be a 63, 65-yard field goal here. So it definitely factors in, you know, when certainly the game management part of it, no doubt, and we'll always take that into account.
Darren, Trent's, I think now with his 5th team in the last 5 years, what is it about what he brings to your unit that you think that consistently every offseason has somebody saying, like, that's the guy we want?
Yeah, well, it's funny. Every time he's been a free agent, I've evaluated him and tried to get him on my side. I joked around with him when he got here that, you know, finally we're together. I've been sick of kind of playing against him. Listen, those offensive core skill players are very, very valuable. There's not a lot of them in the league. You look at some of the skill guys offensively, receiver, running back, a lot of those guys don't play special teams in college, so they're kind of diamonds in the rough coming out. He's a guy that's a proven commodity. He's excellent last year in the coverage aspect. He's always been a good blocker on offense and in the return game. He brings an added toughness. He adds an element. He's kind of exactly what you're looking for that, you know, that receiver, that whatever number you want to put on it. Some people call it 3, 4, 5, whatever number you want to put. As long as he's at the game, I don't care what number he's got. But no, I really and his veteran presence also has been great. You know, we got a number of young receivers, not only receivers, also just DBs, all the skill guys. They're kind of watching guys like him and Sam Franklin and guys that have been around the league and have had production, you know, in this phase. And that's fun to watch. That leadership is hard to come by. So I'm really happy we got him.
Marvin's time for a couple more guys. Marvin's got a couple of postseason awards, you know, all Pro Bowl. Where can he look for?
Well, I've said this before. I think the number one thing is people played keep away last year with him as a kick returner. It's hard to do that as a punt returner, and that's why you saw the production. With this new rule, you know, potentially it could benefit Marvin or the guy that's back there with him, because, you know, people put the ball in play. So I think he'll get more opportunities this year. We're going to try to create more opportunities for him. But listen, he's not a secret anymore. People are going to know they're going to game plan against him. But listen, he's got a high football IQ. We're going to do our best to get him the opportunities, and he's another guy that I just love his veteran leadership now that he's been in the league a few years. He's really working with our younger returners because you got to build up a bunch there. And so, like I've said before, I'm just happy as heck to be working with Marvin. He's a great pro.
Sean said he doesn't think teams are just going to be willingly giving up the 35 as a starting point. Are you pretty confident that there is just going to be an influx of returns in general, given
yeah, listen, this league has become so analytic driven. The analytics told you last year that it was probably a wash for a touchback or to put the ball in play, but now that's not the case anymore with the touchback at the 35. I think you're going to see a high spike in the return percentage. We're going to have to really be locked down in our coverage. You know, we're not a team that's going to give up the 35 either, unless situationally. I don't think we'll see as many touchbacks when we're on the return side of things. I think it was easy for our opponent to do that last year. I don't know if teams are going to want to give Bo and the offense the ball at the 35, so I think they're going to take their chances. It's going to be really important for us to field the ball. There's going to be a lot of unique style kickoffs and line drives and things like that. So that's going to be the important thing. But I agree with Sean. Teams aren't going to be as willing to give it up, only because analytics are going to tell you, you know, 2 first downs. And like was mentioned, if you're playing at Denver, all of a sudden, you know, you're in field goal range. You look up and you're across the 50. So I think it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting for the fans. And for us, we're going to have to be really locked down in our coverage.
On joint practices, can I just ask him what the trend has gone from 2 to 1? Why do you think that's been the case?
Oh, I don't know. That's a question for Sean.
Okay.
I don't know. I think some teams like to get in and get one solid day. I think a lot of times the second day, people kind of back off. It's become less productive. You get in, get the work done, and get out. So.